Everybody, it's hard to believe it's December. Yeah, it is. Hanukkah's over and we're getting.
5 days.
I know, exactly. So,
Old news.
roll call.
Mr. Steingart.
Here.
Mr. Benson.
Here.
Ms. Vetter. Mrs. Geiger.
Here.
Mrs. Labuda.
Here.
Okay, I think we're gonna go a little bit out of order, but the first part will be, I'll put discussion at the end. Human rights, Eric?
Last Tuesday, the Human Rights Commission had the Rights of the Accused forum, but it was the same night as a snowstorm, so the attendance wasn't that great. So we're gonna try it again.
Okay.
That's with Tim Hammond?
Well, to have it right.
Okay. Monica?
Hi. We closed.
No public announcement this month?
No, actually, no public announcements. I'll be just making some personal appearances in a couple of meetings. We have all of our information back from people who requested option forms. We finished that up yesterday. So I will be delivering to the various department heads the actual forms of the people who need them to fill them out. We're asking that they're back by the 16th, so everybody can get all their changes done. So far, so good. We got our rates in. I gave the final rates to Josh. It's better than we thought, so that's always a good thing. And
How much better?
Yeah. Not 800,000.
unfortunately, I don't think it's 800,000, but that's
We're finding it in other places. So.
that's Josh. He'll take care of that.
I know that.
But
I have a lot of
we're
faith in
good.
it.
I mean, everything's going smoothly, so I don't want to jinx it.
By telling us the actual numbers?
Well, there's
We're
5
working. I don't know
tiers.
the actual savings that we're working on that. Obviously, with 1,000 employees, it's a little complicated. But do you remember what the percent increases were? I want to say individual was under 1%.
Well, no, individual was 0.4.
And then
Wow.
family was a little over 1. Something
Yeah,
like that.
there. I mean,
That's fantastic.
the
We had
big numbers were
Those percentages.
We had budgeted about
3.7.
3.7. So
Wow.
It's just
We
a
were-
touch over 2 of them.
And are we still budgeting family rates for vacancies?
generally, yes, because it's
So that's another cushion.
yeah.
Well, in case of fire.
Well, you never know, and you can't dictate
No, I
what
think
they're
it's
going to
fine.
take. So.
It's just good to know that there's another cushion.
That's great to hear.
Yeah, no, the rates were, we were happy with them.
Yeah.
They again waited to November 29th.
As they always do, so the unions can't argue.
Well, no, it's not even, they've had them. They just, till they calculate them out, and there were a couple of little glitches in the healthcare, and, with Obamacare, they're trying to make those coordinations. Well,
That was very kind of you.
what am I gonna say, right? But it's, everything's going smoothly, so we just hope it continues through the early part of January.
Yeah, that's good news.
Okay, personnel, first of all, I know she's not here, Carolyn Hill retired, so I publicly want to thank her, even though she's not here, for her years of service. Linda as deputy will be serving at this point. So Linda, if you don't mind doing a report also. But I would get.
Come on, it's your first day. It's your first day.
She'll be serving as one.
Actually, yesterday was my first day.
Second day, we should be up on it.
Carolyn
question.
named her you have to have a deputy personnel officer. It's
Yeah.
entitled name, it's not necessarily a different position per se, but she has named her the deputy until such time as a permanent person is appointed.
You have 60
Yeah, we
days?
generally have about 60 days to have someone in there from the civil service office, the state. They can kind of come in and, if we're not moving or acting, can kind of impose someone on us. So there's an incentive to get that wrapped up relatively shortly.
Okay. So then we're going to go to resolutions. There's 3 resolutions, setting the salary for the treasurer, the sheriff, and then management and confidential employees. We should do them separately, I guess, even though they're all consistent. Okay, so the first one is for the treasurer.
Motion.
Second. Discussion.
know if everybody's read the agenda, I'm sure they know it's basically the same package we've given to our union employees that have ratified, which I have no problem with.
So, call the question, all in favor?
4-0.
Okay. The county sheriff, basically, as Gene said, we were consistent across the board. It's really the same as the contracts that we've given so far, the ones that we have settled. Motion on the floor.
I'll move it.
Second.
Jean. Second by Cindy.
Discussion. All in favor?
1, 2, 3. Cindy?
Yep, she
4-0.
was, okay.
4-0.
And the last one, management and confidential employees.
Move it.
Kathy.
Second.
Gina.
Discussion. Call the motion. All in favor? All right.
4-0.
Okay. At this point, we have a discussion item, and I would like to
You could
go.
probably generally talk about it, and then at the end, what to do.
Veteran.
But if you let him
9-10.
explain what he's gonna do.
Okay. Randy, why don't you explain what you want to do with creating this position, and then I'd call for a motion to go into executive session
Two.
for because of potential litigation.
Years ago in the Division of Health and Family Services, there was a managing attorney position. What we are proposing is to reinstate the managing attorney position within the division. We did address it in a budget amendment document that we submitted to the county manager's office when we were asked to come back with a potential budget reduction plan. There is a proposed resolution in here that has the dollar amounts and the figures and what the local share would be. We do believe in the budget reduction plan that we can absorb the local share of the position. And the position is really to focus on a combination of revenue collection. There is currently.
It hasn't been distributed yet.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Is it the same as the previous one that was handed out in
I
the
think
DFS committee last month?
No.
That was not this.
No, no.
No, that was
Okay, I'm
for an
confused.
outside counsel.
It was.
Oh, this is an inside.
This would be
person.
hiring an
This is
employee.
Okay, I was confused, sorry about that.
I know there was a resolution, or there was one submitted, but since it was just a discussion item, it was not included in the packet, so.
So,
Do you have a copy that we can at least look at?
Would you like me to make copies?
Yeah, would you
Well,
please?
yeah, that would- that would
I'd like to see
help.
it.
I mean, this is what was on the portal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was on the website.
I know, but I didn't print it out. Because we're supposed to discuss something that we don't have in front of us.
That's interesting. Well, from what I understand, this position, there's a reinstatement of a position that was there prior to.
I think, I'd like a motion at this point to go into the executive, because there's other things involved. So I'd like a motion to go into executive session.
What other things are
There's
involved?
possible litigation that I'd like my peers
But
to
does
be
it tie
made
into
aware
this
of.
resolution?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so I'll move it.
Kathy,
All right,
second by
I'll
Jean.
second.
All in favor?
Kitty?
Okay.
You in favor of going to executive session? Sure. Okay.
So we're continuing. Just to give clarity on what just happened executive, we were discussing possible litigation, but there was one other issue that we brought up that I want to say to the public now that was part of the discussion that is larger, and it's whether we should be recording executive sessions. There was a request to record them, and in the past we haven't. and I'm not sure that was appropriate for executive session, or it should have been, so I just want to really bring it out to the public that it was discussed, and that that last, for the first time, executive session was recorded. It's our understanding it's not foilable. I guess there's a possibility of a lawsuit if a judge ruled on it, but since I didn't feel that was possibly appropriate for executive, I wanted to bring it out in public, so that's what I was doing. So let's go back to, is there any further discussion on that position at this point of the
Can we vote on
managing attorney?
It's
No,
not,
we
it's
just
just a
got it.
discussion issue, it's not a.
It's just a discussion, it's not a resolution. That's right, Cora, I know you wanted to bring something up, so.
Well, it was
yeah.
a resolution on the website, correct?
Yeah,
It was not
on this agenda.
Since I knew of the possible litigation, I felt that, as chair, I pulled the resolution, or didn't have it on there, because I felt this discussion had to be. And it can go on next month, but I felt it was important that everybody knew about it, so. Go ahead, Cora.
So, I want clarity between the function of a managing family services attorney and what I thought was the request for an outside attorney up to a not to exceed number. If those two things are parallel, if there is overlap, or,
Well, from
how
what
these
Cora-
functions
Can I just slow down a
operate.
little bit?
Yes.
From what I understand, the original.
Well, excuse me one
request
second. Is Randy still here? He's the one who's putting in the request. Okay, so.
From what I understand, that was, the request for an outside counsel was gonna be a temporary review. The managing attorney is reinstating a position that the department already had to focus on not only child protective services and children, but family services as a whole. Resource recovery as well. There would be various functions of that position, and I didn't really concentrate on the resolution, so I don't know.
Okay, so do we have a job description of when it existed? In its
There is a
prior-
job
we get one?
description, there's a
We get
position.
Yeah, that should be.
I'd have to research exactly when it was vacated.
Right.
But at least a job description, because I'm still not clear on the difference.
We can
Job
get you that.
description-
The
we get-
functions
Josh
of
is
these
gonna
two jobs.
get us that.
Yeah.
The job description does exist. There is no current list. It's in the competitive class of civil service. The description is very similar to the description for supervising attorney. Carolyn sent me both of them. If the position was created, whoever was retained would be provisional and have to take the civil service test.
It's fine.
And there's no way that this job is not civil service?
Carolyn told me it was in the competitive class of civil service, as is position of supervising attorney.
Okay, so let me rephrase that question. There's no way that this could be a job that's not in civil service?
I did not ask her that question.
Okay, so the answer to that question is we don't know.
That's correct.
We'd have to have Linda research that.
Could you?
Well,
for next month's agenda, then I think we have to have a couple of pieces of information. We need to know whether or not it has to be civil service, or if it can be not civil service. And besides that, we need to see where they align with each other as far as having, because I believe that this position, when at least in the memo of what was sent to us for today's agenda, there was a job description. It was a job that had been filled in the past. This job would take over, and it wouldn't be a temporary position. It'd be a full-time position, and that position would be throughout. It wouldn't be limited to a fee, and it wouldn't be limited to a couple of months. So they do not appear to be the same thing as what was in last month's resolution. They appear to be an ongoing oversight of the legal department within social services for many purposes. So the one is not the same as the other, but I don't know that they have to be civil service positions, and that's a piece that we also need to have.
And from what I understand, social service law grants the authority to the commissioner to appoint attorneys as the commissioner considers necessary. And if you look at the resolution, it is mostly funded through DFS with a smaller county share.
That section really is the section that creates DFS legal. In those counties,
62.
That's the section which allows a family court unit essentially to be created within the division of family services. In counties which don't opt for DSS legal, that unit is part of the county attorney's office as the family court unit.
So then the other solution potentially for the oversight of this is to have the legal department underneath the county attorney's position, which is your division, and you'd be overseeing that.
That is the way.
That is another option
That is
that's
correct.
available.
That is correct.
Okay, so we can either get ourselves somebody from the outside to look at it temporarily. We can hire somebody to be full-time there, or we could have this department fall underneath the county attorney's office. As many other counties in the state do, and do run it very well that way.
That is correct, and that's the way in my tenure in Westchester it was done that way.
And it's done in most of the counties in the state that way. Okay.
What's the difference between your attorneys and
The difference presently is that those attorneys do have civil service status, so the attorneys in the county attorney's office do not. They serve at pleasure. So that if you create it from scratch, everybody's on the same plane. If you merge it, you're merging people who serve at pleasure with people who have civil service status, and the salary scales are slightly different.
Do other counties have it where they have both in one department?
I don't know.
Would you be able to research
Excuse
that?
me, one
and have all that
conversation at a
information?
time, so
I'll
we'll get
be
on the
glad to do
record.
that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm writing down your questions.
Good.
Okay. Alan?
I do see some benefits in creating such a position, especially given, just the magnitude of the issues that Family Services has to deal with. And the county share would be 16,000 out of this position, which is 120, so it's a little less than 10% of the cost of the salary. But I think as the county continues to grow, and I think, if we finally start to get some economic development and an influx of new people coming in, I think the issues that Family Services will be dealing with are only going to grow greater. So, having the additional legal services there, I think, is something that we should really begin to plan for.
I just have a comment. It's not a question, it's not an answer. The bottom line is, that department has to look out for the benefit of the people of Sullivan County, and that's what we have to look at. We have to look out for the welfare of the people of Sullivan County, and I don't mean that in a negative word. It's what a union would call good and welfare. We have to look out for the good and welfare of all the citizens of Sullivan County, and I think this is an integral part of that.
Cora?
Yeah, I'm gonna repeat what I said in executive session, which is that as long as we're clear, hand on heart, that we're looking after the best interests of the most vulnerable. In this case, it's not just child support. I thought it was just child support when we were talking about the previous outside position, but it's all legal services. And as long as we have the interests of the most vulnerable population, and we're doing the best that we can do, and we can be the best that we can be, there's no reason not to do this.
Any other comments? I'll open up to public comment. Public comment?
Okay, motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn? Second? Okay. Thank you.